Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We have people joining us and today we have an Ask Me Anything session with our CEO, Justin Park, and our CTO, Jeffrey Song. So, hello, guys.
Hi, hello, everyone. It's been a quite wild year, I would say. And first quarter, we launched our first mainnet in the last March. That was the big thing, and then everyone was so busy with launching of our mainnet, and then as well as we went through the token swapping processes and everything. And then after that, I would say the second quarter that for us, the first quarter also there was a first launch of our web app, which is Keepin, as you guys all know. So that was quite busy for us as well. In the second quarter, definitely I would say that was a time that we spend much of our time on for the R&Ds as well as the business development for to create more of use cases. But indeed, there was I would say the big progresses towards the partnerships, and then the more next version of implementation of our Keepin apps. But actually, that we did expect it to more listing of a token on different exchanges, but that didn't really happen during the second quarter as we planned. But it's under schedule. It's just slightly delayed. So the new exchange listing will be happen in a short time period, which I cannot disclose, but at the moment, but definitely it's on its way. That's all I can share. And then also we're expecting more things happen in the third and fourth quarter this year. That we are very excited to launch our first SDK for the Unity, which will be share more on a later this session. And the new listing of exchanges definitely will happen in the sometimes third or fourth quarter as the latest. So that's pretty much that I would say the recap of Metadium that for the 2019, and then it's been a really busy year. So actually that before we explain about those relationship with those government institutions, that there is, like, as you all know, that like Metadium is a technical partner with the CoinPlug, and then that was those government projects are directly engaged with the CoinPlug. But we would say, officially we are technical partner, but unofficially we are like a reverse ICO kind of relationship with the CoinPlug. So meaning to say that we are very closely work together with CoinPlug and then as one. And then in terms of the government project, that there is a need of a DID for either the Korea Post project or Korea Metro, Seoul Metro project, then definitely Metadium is a part of the technical provider for the DID, as well as anything related to the public chain part, that the CoinPlug is taking Metadium's technology into that project. So more detail, just to touch base, Korean Post is a project that using the blockchains for the payment, local payment. So that was the brief explanation about that project. And then Seoul Metro is a sharing house kind of concept, something like an Airbnb using the blockchain technologies. So we are participating as a technical partner.
Okay, sure. I can expect that a lot of people are waiting for our Unity SDK to be listed on the SS store. So actually, we are working hard, and every engineering job has been done a couple of weeks ago, but they have a quite long period of evaluation time. So it's almost at the end of the process. So a week or two, I hope our SDK will be listed on the Unity SS store. So please stay tuned.
Just before we change the subject to the Keepin, I'd just like to mention a couple of things about Unity. So as all the blockchain industry that are seeking for first use cases and then mass adoption, killer application, etc. So that there is a very specific strategic meaning to Unity, in a sense that that it's very difficult to create these use cases. There are several reasons, but one of the biggest reasons I would say is the delivery of concept of this blockchain, how it can use in the real life. So that's one of the reasons that we partner with the Unity. And then Unity Asset Store has about 6 million active developers visiting asset stores and then using the assets from that store. So we using the partnership will be actually boost our use cases in starting from the gaming, that what a DID and then blockchain-based authentication systems can leverage the gaming industry. So that can be that's kind of what we are expecting. So first, that this opportunity will be a great opportunity to educate the developers before the end users. So this is very meaningful for us. And then we are very excited to list on our SDK on the Unity Asset Store.
So as you might know, this is our first release of the Keepin that has been started from the 1.0. That was before the mainnet. And we made a wallet function in 1.1, and for 1.2, the DID has been included. And 1.3 is kind of like a complete package for the DID. So I can say our project's like a final goal is we are approaching to the point. So every 3 months we release the new version of the Keepin. So we're planning to release sometime in September, middle of September. So we are now doing the last part of the integration test. And after that, we are going to do a quality assurance test, and then will be released to the App Store and Play Store.
Not features, but I just want to mention one thing, that there is some feedback from the community that why the Keepin update is so slow, and then in fact, like there are some feedback saying that the development process is a bit delayed or something. But the thing that I'd like to mention is that DID itself is very new technology, and then because of it's new, that even though there is a lot of DID project out there, but actually no one really has the, I would say like no one has the leading the standardization of DID itself, which we believe that interoperability, compatibility is a key to for the DID usage of DID itself. So that's why we also taking intentionally paying more attention to the latest technology, as well as this global movement, and then standardization kind of thing. So we are carefully monitoring all these things, and then once we make a decision for the actual implementation, that takes some time. So that's one of the my excuses towards the community, that we are not just, of course we do have our own ideas as well, But at the same time, we also take the consideration of others, how the others doing it, implementing towards the deed. Especially, that's why one of the reasons that we participate as DIF as a member of a standardization group. So, and then we carefully monitoring our not competitors but other deed players like Sovereign, Hyperledger Indies, all these things. So I would like to give our community that confidence that we are not just like a deed project out of nowhere, but like we've been in the industry for a long time, and then heavily involved with other players as well. So that's the part of the excuse of the delay of the processes. But we don't really call it delay, but rather we put more attention, and then we are taking more cautious approach.
Sure. As like Justin said, like we are like fully compatible with the W3C DID spec. So MetaID is based on that, and we register our DID method to the W3C method, and also we subscribe to DIF. So I can say there are two major big updates in our Keepin 1.3. One is for the edge agent, that is a Keepin side, and the other is the cloud agent, that is the identity hub. So basically all data management function has been included in the Keepin, and Keepin also can encrypt the data and store into the repository that is called the identity hub for backup or for the sharing the data with other service providers. So it includes all the DID concept is inside. So you can get have a taste of the DID service by using the Keepin version 1.3.
Okay, great. So users can actually store the information through the Metadium and then share it if they want.
Yeah, they can store on their own device, and also the identity hub that.
Of the ecosystem, we're building it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Right, that's the most difficult part. The go-to-market strategy is most tough. Is not only the deed itself, but blockchain in general, I would say. So we are now kind of before our project was mostly position ourselves as a B2C player, but now we are taking more, giving more weight on the B2B area. So lately we are spending time on how to packaging our to the organization or other service providers as a package. So because DID itself is not, it is technology, it's
not a service.
Paradigm shift, meaning to say that current all these internet service out there, they have this like centralized model of ID password and then authentications, but where the DID itself is like, we give all these rights and then data back to the users. So that's the very tough concept to convince the current service providers. So we are very having a hard time. Like how should we achieve approach to the service providers out there, and then at the same time we have to educate the users. So part of it, definitely there'll be some announcement later this quarter or early next quarter that we will come up with these corporate enterprise solutions as well. Okay, so definitely that we all know that the blockchain project is all start from the community and then it ends with the community. So we every time, like, our marketing team is putting a lot of efforts how we can engage further with the communities, and then how to cope with the community every day. But due to, like old days, there's we used to plan for the meetups, and then participating the events as a form of communication, active communication with the community. But somehow we realized that doesn't really effective on the way that we expected. So we are continuously thinking like how we can build a healthy and very supportive community, and definitely there will be some plans for deeper engagement with the community, but not really would be same as like old days of meetups or participate in the event. I mean, that not only the effectiveness of engagement, but also as you all know that we are operating based on the investment of the community. So we plan to utilize a better way of managing our funds. So that will directly to derive the better result, I would say. But definitely we plan for more active communication with the community, such as AMA, more frequent AMAs, frequent dialogue with the community. That would be the one way. And then definitely, I think we plan to do, Jeffrey and myself, we plan to do participate more on the events and exhibition as a speaker. So I think you're going to have a speech in the next week in the Busan. There is an event by CoinDesk Korea. It's called Dexpo. So Jeffrey will be there. And then myself, I'll be speaking in the blockchain week sometime in October. And then definitely if there's any opportunities, like we want to showcase ourselves. So I'm sure there's a lot of communities that have more curiosity on the listing side. So definitely I cannot disclose like everything, but there's the things that I can share is that the rules that I have in mind is, number one, that we are going to list on the first tier global first tier exchanges. That's the rule number one. Even though it would take some time, that listing on a second or third tier, another second or third tier doesn't really mean anything at the moment. So my goal is to list on the first tier. So hopefully that will happen within this year. And then the second goal, personal goal, and then that we're doing is the listing the KRW pair, which is very important on the creating more regulations on the Meta token itself. Besides exchanges, the planning is that, as I shared a bit, that now we are slightly pivoting our positions towards the enterprise solutions. So third and fourth quarter, we are pushing very hard towards this packaging our DID solution for the enterprise product. So that would be the big event, and then the big push for the business side, and then as well as the R&Ds. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, the block producers, we are taking very, very carefully, in a sense that, of course, there's a lot of, we're getting actually inquiries that to become block producers for the Metadium at the moment, but we intentionally not choosing anyone yet, because we want. I mean, once we choose a block producer, it's like blockchains are irreversible. So we want to choose the block producers who can actually contribute on our network, and then as well as someone who can have the can be a figure of our Metadium as a block producer. So we think that once our go-to-market strategy actually work out, then naturally there'll be more of block producer candidates. So I would say we don't really plan to choose the block producer within this year, but it will be happen sometime next year. But in the meantime, how does the tokens distribution of the block producer?
Every month we are, as you might know, we already released our token economy paper, and you can take a look how we're gonna distribute the block reward to the BP, even though we are operating on the node, but it's based on the government system, and it's evenly distributed. So if you go to our block explorer, you can find the mining node is getting reward periodically. I can say like a Metadium Mainnet is a public blockchain, and it has the same technology that is used in many private sector. So for the CoinPlug side, we are preparing for the public blockchain service using right now I cannot say the exact name, but some wallet services will be ready to operate on top of the Metadium using the Keepin. So we are trying to make full use of the public blockchain, and CoinPlug is supporting with all their efforts. So there will be a couple more service will be shown on the Metadium blockchain.
So and as well as there's as mentioned earlier, there's 5 or 6 government projects that CoinPlug is working on, and then all of them are using the Metadium blockchains.
Sometimes public, but sometimes private.
Just different configurations.
But actually using the same Metadium technology.
Not only that the meaning of Metadium, but also many people ask how to pronounce it. Is it Metadium or Metadium, Metadium, the difference. So I mean, I don't know exact pronunciation, but we call Metadium. And then the meaning of Metadium is meta as data of data. That was the meaning of the meta itself. And then dium came from the stadium. So it's like a data of data's stadium. So that was the meaning that's actually it was chosen by the founder of CoinPlug.
Actually, as you might know, that it's like a Ethereum. So it's kind of like a fuel for the blockchain.
It's a gas.
And also we are providing a tokenization platform on top of it, so token can be issued on the Metadium. So that's the current use cases for. But as Justin said, our blockchain is that has been designed from the beginning as a general purpose, but we are pivoting to more the ID-based solution. So we can say IDaaS, ID as a service. So it's more like ID ecosystem is what Metadium is positioning right now. Okay, so Identity Hub is just data repository. So user can write the data on the data repository, but always user can give a permission. That means user will encrypt the data before they store the data to the Identity Hub. and also give a permission to specific user. So even the identity hub operator cannot look at the data itself. So it's fully like protected. But the reason for using the identity hub is because the edge agent that's a Keepin can store all the user information, right? But sometimes the service provider want to access the user data without any interruption. So without the interaction with the Keepin, they have to store somewhere that is available online, but has the strict a permission control. So that is the reason why we are providing the identity hub. So the final goal of using the identity hub is if we try to support the service that they don't need to manage any user data that is GDPR compliant. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of like our Metadium's final goal of integration with a service provider.
One use case of the identity hub would be, let's say there is social networks, like something like a Facebook, but it's a decentralized Facebook. And then all the data of Facebook, such as photos or music, whatever, that's supposed to belongs to the users. But now all the users' data is reside in the centralized Facebook service databases. So Identity Hub will act as a personal databases that can be accessed to the SNS services such as Facebook, but actually data will be controlled by users, and then the user can choose or give the consent to the either service providers or other individual peers to access my data. So that's what data Identity Hub is for. Yes, it's I'm very excited to announce that CoinPlug has chosen as official partner for the Busan Blockchain Specialized Zone. So and then definitely it's a big initiative of a Korean government that choose the Busan as a city as to experiment all these blockchain regarding blockchain technologies, but they specifically exclude those ICO projects. But definitely we have a chance to work with Busan together with the CoinPlug. So that's the big news for us. And then what else?
Yeah, it's gonna be like our big testbed for the Metadium DID ecosystem. So definitely we're gonna try to deploy DID in that Busan district.
Crypto market in general, very difficult.
Feel free to,
And then today, at this moment, I think it's the worst part to answer these questions. Definitely. We believe that we hope to gain more momentum on the crypto space. That I know everybody's having a hard time, but that what regardless of the external environment, that we believe that we back to basic kind of thing. So we don't really care about like externals, but let's focus on what we're supposed to deliver. So and then that's why we're pushing hard on a Unity SDK deployment, as well as come out with the real use cases, and such as the IDaaS, ID as a service platform that can be ready soon. And then I think the market will react on the actual outputs of what we've done. So and then hopefully that the major markets such as Bitcoin price will go up by the end of this year, and that'll be great for us. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.